I don't know if we're allowed to call players psychotic, but I'll go with it. I'm happy you did. That's quite fun. Yeah, I mean, someone who does buy a 4-step on a puck, that is a special kind of person. And it's not Kuku, it's Bosku. It's Bosku. He has
True. I
a new
mean,
nickname.
but that is exactly why he is the boss, because he does stuff like that.
Yep, and no one can tell him anything because, again, he's the boss.
He is the boss.
Polaris, they ban out the Lesh as well, so they don't want to be dealing with the double push lineup. We've already seen those lineups actually do quite well. Is there like a possibility that Polaris go for a double push lineup? Something like a Beastmaster, Lycan? Lycan does seem pretty solid here.
A Lycan would be really nice versus the Drow. You can always stick on top of her. She is like because you just keep on running, right? And Drow's escape always comes in increments. Like okay, you get one gust, sure, you get pushed back, and the wolf keeps running. You drop your hurricane pike, and the wolf gets pushed back, and then he keeps on running. So yeah, I would not be against that. Sticking on top of the Drow would be really important here, and forces a lot of the offensive capability of Neon to turn inwards instead of forwards against your cores. And you desperately need something to run at Neon at this part. Run or jump, something else that can provide a threat apart from the Riki. Because right now, no playmaking capability.
Yep,
Absolutely none.
that is true. So at least having the double push, and the potential to run towards the enemies would be solid. But overall, they might still pick a mid laner. This could be an offlane Death Prophet with a position 4 Riki. It is not unheard of. And it is going to be a Tiny. There's your playmaking hero. I always say I want to see a Vision hero with a Tiny Riki. We can put him in that category. So this is fine. Treant, Mirana, even the Drow can be bursted down by the Tiny. I like it. It's actually quite nice. If the Death Prophet opens up the towers, which isn't easy against the Treant, but if she does, then the Tiny will kind of have the free reign to go around the map. And tossing back the Dragonite is always nice.
Yep, very much. And you know that the Death Prophet Treant Protector thing? Of course, she's not going to be happy if she doesn't get a tower in full. But on the other hand, she is way better at that, like getting a tower in one go, than most heroes are. So,
Yep.
it's maybe you'd rather have a Death Prophet than a lot of other heroes versus Treant. It's one of those matchups that goes both ways.
It's definitely true. Neon, what do you get? Is this an offlane Dragonite or a mid lane one? Mid lane DK does deal relatively well with a Tiny. It's not bad, so they could put it there and get something else on the offlane. But DK Mirana, I still think Dragonite would do pretty well against the Lina Omni Knight.
Yeah, he'd do decent. I mean, the first couple of levels would be pain, right? But after that, yeah, you can stay there. Lena's damage is all like attack speed, and DK with the maxed armor just shrugs it off.
So what would they need? I still think Neon are lacking in the burst department. Like something that kills the hero, right? You get on top of him fine, but the hero still needs to die. So is there anything that comes to mind? Okay, we're gonna find out anyways. So that's not
Team
really
fight.
burst, but it is team fight, yeah. So I guess now the Omni Knights, the spell isn't gonna be as useful as previous. It's still quite a good spell in this game in particular. And Pango can be a damage dealer with the Diffusal Blade. It's not unheard of.
Yep. And I think if this was like if the Brewmaster was still available, then it would have been a slam dunk pick, right? But that purge is not available for the Omni Knight. Most other heroes do not have offensive purges. I guess you have to wait out the Omni Knight a bit until all the free purges get available on the neutral item, tier 3.
Yeah, but that is it is what it is. I mean, Neon, I think their lineup is decent, though I don't think it's better than the one on Polaris. I'm looking at their lineup and I'm thinking they need to tempo up and to defend their towers. Like, they need to do both. If their towers fall and then minute 15 comes, you are gonna be hunted down slowly but surely, and the time will come in the game where the Death Prophet just stands in front of your tower and you can't kill him. So I'm kind of scared for Neon here, and Polaris have shown us in the past that currently they are playing better Dota than Neon is.
Yes, I completely agree with you. That Riki timing remains very scary, and they have absolutely nothing to actually deal with it apart from being ready to stand together,
Yeah.
hold hands, and make sure that that initiation that follows up after the Riki dagger is not actually worth it for Polaris. And that seems like a rough task. Also, I big respect for Enryut for taking like the oldest looking possible Dragon Knight set and just rocking with it. That
Yeah.
is some 2013 gaming right there.
We'll have to show that to our viewers once we are in the game, which we are currently, and are gonna be looking at this game here between Polaris and Neon. So Neon on the Radiant side, Polaris on the Dire. You wanted us to check out the DK set. There it is. Yeah, that is very old, very very. But
Vintage.
he wanted the nice shiny white armor, you know, White Knight.
Yeah, I mean those are not often appreciated, White Knights, in this day and age.
Yeah. I like how the this Dragonite is much older, right, than Davion is in the animation series, and you can see that his face is kind of scorched, right? It's a lot darker than on our Dragonite in the story. You can see it here. You can't see it with a lot of sets, but it is definitely true that this guy has seen a lot of Dragonfire in his days. We are gonna have a pause. They say sorry, go. Okay, we are gonna be starting, so I'm not gonna be waiting there for too long. So we agree on Polaris. Yes, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
we do agree on Polaris here. I mean, a lot depends on this Tiny, right? Like if this Tiny does not have a good enough game, then the transition into bursting follow-up for the Riki is going to be pretty rough. And you are still working into, for example, an overgrowth. Like even if you find a target, it's hard to get out of that alive sometimes. And then Polaris would be left with a bunch of backline cores and an Omni Knight. But you know, that's all ifs. If. And if this Drow Ranger does not have good enough of a game, then Alina just shreds everybody. And that is the biggest if for me in the end.
yeah, the Lina not to be underestimated. Yesterday, though, we did put our faith in Polaris, but Xerxia came in and crushed them 2 games in a row. One they had a Broodmother, one they had a Lina, and neither one of those meta heroes helped them win. CML and Akashi, they see Enryu and Tsukimoto, and these two cannot really threaten too much. Maybe they can threaten CML, because he won't be able to remove the stun from himself. That's some damage being done into him, but overall the Omni Knight will be fine. They are rewarding a ward, and he will not forget about the bounty rune. Looking at those, how does it look? Polaris, they secure 2, and Neon they secure 2 as well.
But a ward has just been warded by Akashi already. So that is a pretty big win for the Dire here. There's Mirana rotations on mid. Always a threat. Will now both be watched as well as not be that easy to make for the Mirana herself.
That is one thing I don't like for the Neon lineup, is that their mid laner does not set up an arrow. Like, there are these nice angle arrows that are sometimes gonna hit, but more often than not, your rotation is gonna be it's gonna be wasted. If I don't have someone to set up an arrow for me in the mid lane with a Mirana, I'd rather just stay in the jungle arrowing creeps and kind of offer the potential of the enemy being scared than try to go for an arrow, and then the enemy knows that I'm there,
You're there
and I can't do anything.
Yeah, you're there and you're useless. I always compare the Mirana going mid without a stun to follow up on to fishing. Like you're just fishing for that arrow to hit, and like if the fish bites, then sure, but
And you?
it's not a guarantee.
Has to be very careful. Okay, he'll get the stun onto the Lina, and if there was the stun the other way around, that would be much different. Okay, let's look at the bottom lane quick, because top lane, it seems like it's gonna be very, very aggressive. So, who wins this one? Drow Ranger? I kind of feel like she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, she's going to be completely fine. Bok is a Death Prophet, which means that you have your best matchups versus melee cores, where you can really use your siphons to stay alive in the slap fight and then bully them out back with the Crypt Swarm. They've also taken down all of the towers here with the trees here with that Colic Blade on the Riki. So he at least got himself a bit of an advantage in the punching fight versus Hated. But as long as Hated can actually stay on him, the Drow is just fine in this matchup. She's not going to get hit by the nuke. She's not going to be too bothered by the wave pushing into her. This is fine.
Okay, I have a question. Maybe you don't have an answer to, but I'm hoping you do. The Wildwing Ripper. Sometimes it uses the Hurricanes, sometimes it doesn't. What's with the inconsistency? When does it use it? When does it not?
Honestly, I don't have the faintest idea, and I wish I could help you here, but as far as I'm concerned, the answer is Dota is not a consistent game. Deal with it.
That's definitely not true. That's definitely not true. I don't take that as an answer, but yeah, this thing is inconsistent for sure. Because I know Centaur, okay, he stuns when they're... look at it now. Look at it now. Yeah. Again, it did so. Like, why? And it didn't do so earlier. Maybe you need to have 2 heroes around. I don't know. I'm gonna be...
It's probably 2 heroes around, and it also has a pretty long cooldown. So now it can't, even though there's 3 heroes.
Oh, Hated. Yeah, he's gonna be losing the living armor, so these right clicks are gonna start hurting. Drow comes over, Fortune Soul, very low chances that you can do anything to help your buddy there, so it is gonna be a first blood. I really thought this bottom lane is gonna be awesome for Neon, but they give the first blood, and Drow is farming nice. That's always good, but losing your support, giving the first blood, it's not something that you wanted to see.
No, it's not, and I think the cutting of the trees has a lot to do with that. Like, the Treant Protector just feels really, really useless when he's lumbering around without his trees.
Yeah. I like how you're always ready with different words that are gonna be complimenting the Treant. I'm loving that. Yeah, he's lumbering around, and yeah, yes. He is. That is very nice. So Jing gonna be going for a wave pull here. Treant has 1 billion damage, but Ricky has 1 billion armor, level 1, so he's gonna be fine here. He does steal the wave in the end. Mid lane, we haven't talked much about the matchup for now. Tiny's winning, unexpected, expected. Is this how it's supposed to go?
Yeah, the Tiny just simply wins on the denies usually, because the Pangolier does not have the damage to stand versus a tree. The damage of the tree, I should say.
Yeah.
But otherwise, neither of them are going to be able to push the wave past each other really without investing significant amount of mana.
We're seeing some slaps there, mana trades, but overall it seems like a very uninteresting lane to watch, play, whatever. So Ken Max, sorry, but we're gonna go somewhere else where it's gonna be more action, like the top lane, where I thought we are gonna be seeing a little bit more. But this Omni Knight has not been caught by the stun arrow, has not been going down, and there's been a farm fest between Akashi and the and then you on the DK, and so far Lina slightly better in terms of CS, but the difference is pretty much negligible.
Yep, exactly, and that does mean that we're going to see a pretty early level 6 for this DK. We're going to be seeing the push coming from that fairly shortly, and probably with a rotation from the Pangolier as well, which means that the Lina will have to end her time in the top lane as soon as that rotation comes, maybe even before it. You don't actually get to sit here in spite of the fact that you've had a good lane.
For sure. I'm liking how Neon on the bottom lane are not allowing any of these side pulls to go through. Every single time Hated is in a good position. Now finally the trees have been restored. They have regrown themselves, and he does have a little bit of a spot there to hide. We are seeing some couriers die. You know, the courier died in the top lane, the courier of Lina. Now Jing is going to be returning the favor, killing the Drow one. And finally we're seeing the first rotation to the mid lane. Ken, I don't really see him dying here though.
No.
Oh, actually, he is taking too long.
Wow.
Okay. I guess we see him dying. Very nice rotation from Jing just in time. Mac even pulled himself out to bait the Pango not to use his ulti. That was just nicely done by Polaris overall. Perfect coordination, and it lands him a kill.
Yeah, very well done. I guess that does mean that the Pango has a very easy time coming to top now once he respawns. So I would like to see Akashi back up yesterday. Ken could be there. And you'd have absolutely no idea. But he's not. He's just walking his way back to mid for now.
He doesn't have a TP. He used it earlier. But I think this is even better. I think
Yeah,
this is
you're
even
right.
better because he's gonna have it for a rotation. I think it's much needed for rotation. And if he had a TP, it'd go. But the difference between the Tiny and the Pango is a little bit too high for my taste here, considering that they were relatively equal in terms of CS.
Yep. Very much agreed on that. And again, we have one of those matchups where if the Tiny wins, his Blink Dagger is going to be really early, and then his timing is going to be extremely powerful, whereas the other hero does not need the items. Is not getting anything done right now either. This TP
weird.
also doesn't get anything done though.
Very weird. He TP'd and Polaris, they engaged the fight. Yes, they had a ward, they would have seen him anyway, but I would assume that Polaris would stay a bit defensive for a second. Jink will take the mid lane, so quite happy with the experience that is going to be given to him, even the gold needed, so once the 15-minute mark does come, you can buy the shard.
Exactly, and that is just peak Ricky gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Don't do anything. Mop up waves until you get the money for the shard, and then you sit on that money until you can buy the shard.
I remember a couple of years ago, Kuro was playing a Ricky, and the game was going really badly. He was a support, and then he farmed for like 20 minutes and won the game on a support Ricky with like 2 items. It was just too big of a problem. And it was like a big match. I can't really remember. It has to be like 3-4 years ago, maybe even more. But
here's a top rotation.
Ken coming in, CML. Yeah, he's very dead. The damage output of the Pango. Sometimes I just underestimate how much he can do. Lina hiding in the trees. Akashi doesn't want to leave this lane, and he's in a good spot to keep himself here.
And the Dragonite form is already 3/4 done. So yeah, that corrosive breath. Enryu did cut through the trees to get some more on the tower, but he could have chipped away at that a little harder, I think. Nonetheless, I doubt that he would have gotten the full tower down immediately. But no, the Lina does leave. I guess some of it is just a threat of Ken not having used the Rolling Thunder and not showing himself anymore either.
Oh, bottom lane, the Drow almost dies, but the avalanche of the Tiny just a fraction of a second too late. And top tower took some damage, but definitely not going to be going down. The bottom tower, half duration left on the exorcism. It's looking like it's going down. The living armor, it's going to be expiring fairly soon. You cannot reapply it immediately. It's only level 2. That is a ton of armor, but in the end, I think Bok he has this one.
Absolutely. And there is that Death Prophet difference with the DK. She takes the tower in one go if you give her the opportunity, and the DK is still chipping away at his.
How do you feel about the DK build? 3 points in the breathe far. I mean, he did not suffer in lane for it.
Yeah, I mean, a bit on the greedy side, but then again, I understand that you want your farm this game. The I keep on saying percentage-based damage from the Death Prophet, but the incremental damage and the magical damage from the Spirit Siphon, from the Exorcism, it's probably more important for you to get your items this game than be really tanky with the Dragon's Blood and then actually still die because there's so much magical damage on the enemy team.
Yeah, especially if these creeps in the jungle break you for a couple of seconds, like, haha, you took only 4 of my armor, who the hell cares? But now he does get the second point in it when the tower has fallen. He's going to be needing to go a little bit deeper into the enemy jungle to get the farm, so I guess you do need the extra tankiness. Very close to the Blink Dagger, though.
And since the Tiny does not have his yet, and is not really that close either, like I think you get to do this on a DK for quite a long time. The only person you need to keep an eye on is Mac. He's the only one who could punish you, really.
True. So we see that Mac, after his name, he has Messi. So Kips, your thoughts? Messi versus Ronaldo? Any
Messi versus Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo is without a doubt the superior athlete. Like as a human being, I don't think I've seen anybody ever push his body that far. It's absolutely insane. But in the end, what counts is results. And I'm sorry, Messi takes that one. I think we all know that.
Yeah, so evolving past anything that a human being can ever be is not enough to be better than Messi. That's the.
Nope.
That's the thing I heard there. But anyways, let's go back to Dota because traditional sports, we all know they are inferior. This is the right evolution that we see here. Like, who would want to go around, kick a ball, shoot it at a hoop?
Sweaty.
Yeah, you get sweaty. Okay, I have to say though, after 6 hours of casting, you know, it's not much different here. So
Don't tell them our secrets. They think we just sit here and lean back and just sort of chill with the Dota 2. Like all of the shaking and the clenching and the sweating and the cramps. They don't know about that. Please,
Okay,
shut up.
okay. So no sweating here. Every single Dota
Pina
player.
coladas.
Yeah, pina coladas and every single Dota player smells like fresh flowers. That is 100% true. So. Still, we can see from our conversations that this game is action-packed. Kills happening everywhere, though. Yeah, 3 kills,
Blink.
12 minutes in. Oh, blink on the DK. Yeah, that is.
Yes.
Can we finally see a kill going on to Mac? The arrow follow-up, it is coming through, and Mac is gonna get hit in the back, but still, he's not taking that much damage. Still the Pango, he might be changing that one, and the Guardian Angel is there to make sure that still nobody dies. Ken is gonna be going through all of them, running over everyone in his road, but no one will fall. Polaris, they still live.
Yep, and look at the way the movement on the minimap goes. It's like somebody yelled Delta split. Like immediate back off for both sides, splitting up, going back to farm, and sure they're like, oh, both sides are like, oh wait, actually we have an exorcism going. Mid tower needs to be defended / attacked. So they do come back in, but no opportunities offer themselves up, and the net worth switches sides several times within a second, because nobody gets to do anything but farm right now.
Left, right. Mac does have a blink as well. Let's see if he'll be a bit more successful than the Dragonite. No, he's gonna use the blink to not use his smoke and actually farm the creeps in the mid lane, push out that one. Looking at it right now, Tier 1s on the safe lanes have fallen. The Lina and the Drow are farming. Lina slightly quicker, of course, as you mentioned at the start of the game. Any any winners from your perspective in the first 14 minutes?
Polaris got away with 2 super passive and kind of weak laning supports. I'd say it's them.
Oh, Ricky. He might not be getting away with this one. Are we finally seeing a kill? Yes, it's gonna cost them 2 sentries, and the Drow gets the kill. 223 gold. Considering that you spent 4 sentries there, that kind of evens it out. So the game will continue to be even now with 2 kills on each side. Tiny goes in, gets the haste rune, and he's gonna be saved there for a second. Still Rolling Thunder, gonna be going for CML. The one that is protecting you might actually fall. He is being slowed down quite a lot, even with the Heavenly Grace. It might not be enough to survive. It does expire, his HP is gone, and he's dead. Avatar's combo, Mac goes onto Enryu, but he cannot finish off the DK, a bit too tanky.
Yep, very good of Neon to be ready to respond with 5 there, because you are looking for an opportunity to go now that Bok does not have the Exorcism, and the window on Exorcism being down is not actually that large. He's already got it up again, and you've got half health on the tower. I guess Neon should just be happy that they got that at all and back off, and yeah, another smoke, because they need to make more things happen before this retiming comes in.
Ricky breaks that smoke again. They're gonna put down another sentry. Nice dodge there. No stuns are gonna be going towards Enryu. Jing was ready. Neon were not. This is why you would rather have a dust than a sentry, but the Dragonite isn't holding one. He needs to be the one to have it if you want an easy kill.
Yep, and now the shard has been delivered. We are in Sleeping Dart territory, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts.
I don't know why anyone would sleep through this game. It is so exciting now. The Moonlight Shadow being used, and the toss combo Ken does go down. As soon as the Sleeping Dart comes through, Neon are gonna be punished. They lose a hero. They might lose this tower because Akashi has made his presence known. Nice arrow there to make sure that the siege creep is no more.
You can see that Bok really wanted to step in front of it, but does not get to do so. I don't think it matters.
Oh, they went a little bit too deep. Stun from the Lina. No, it's not too deep when you have a Guardian Angel looking over you. CML doesn't allow any of his teammates to take any damage, or not enough damage to go down. Considering they're full HP, we can stay with the any damage. Tower dropping low. Stun onto the Lina. Where's the Heavenly Grace? He doesn't have it, but they're blocking the arrows. No, they're actually sleeping down this Murana, and Akashi just takes him down easily. So that Laguna Blade, it hurt.
Yep, I think we're now seeing like sort of I don't even want to call it the final form of this game, but this is what the game is going to look like right now. Neon does not have any burst damage, so most of it is going to be a slap fight at range. And the Tiny provides Polaris with a little bit more of that burst, so between the Ricky and the Tiny, that's going to be the playmaking capability, and Neon is mostly going to be hitting back against that.
Neon are walking over Vision, walking over Ricky, and they're easily spotted. Just so much vision is being given by this Ricky, so much space being created even before he got his shard. I have to say Jink did his job, right? Did everything right. Was okay in the laning phase, and now he's setting up on the Dragonite, waiting for the rest of his team to connect. And you, okay, it's gonna be slapped there, stopped. Let's see if he can get himself out. Avalanche will keep him in place. He's surrounded. Only the toss to break the TP, but considering that you remove the Dragon Tail easily, this Dragonite is dead. He does have a ton of armor, 31 to be exact with the living armor, but it doesn't help.
I'm very curious that the DK didn't spend any of his money before dying. Like, you have, like, you're to buy a BKB. You are.
Yeah, or a shard. You know, either of those two would have been okay. I kind of would like a shard. He is falling behind, and out pushing the waves is something that Neon need to do. We can see it from his positioning there. They're kind of desperate to do so. They're not bad, but it would be good if one other of your heroes could do it without much committal.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Especially on the without much committal part. Right now, the DK, sure, he can push, but he needs to stand in the wave in order to do that. And that's just prime Ricky Prowling material, so... Yeah, Shard would have done it as well, but he seems to be indecisive as of now, just keeping that 2k gold in his pocket.
Some people just want to have money, you know? Traders. Traders need money to work.
He is a dragon. Like, it makes a lot of sense that he just amass a ton of stuff and just sit on it. Like, that's what dragons do, isn't it?
True, that is true. But dragons are usually the richest ones and the ones that no one wants to cross. And Ryu doesn't really seem all that scary. They do retain their ward here, so that is quite nice. And Neon do go for a smoke, but they are going towards 4 heroes, maybe even 5 if that Ricky connects.
This could be a very good move.
Going for the tiny. Immediately the stuns are removed and Avatos combo. That is a dead dragon. He just used his form as well. Ken wants to go for the Rolling Thunder. Not gonna be happening. It could have been a good move, but it ended being a catastrophic one. And now Hated gets destroyed by his own brother. Tossed at him. Mac gets a double kill. 3 kills going their way. Immediately go for a smoke. Polaris, they're not done.
Oh, that was a yikes. And... I guess the only chance that you have in order to get a good fight there is fish with anybody else first. Like, maybe get the Pango in first, see if you can get some spell reactions in the back. No. Fortune Soul. Showed on the mid lane, gets destroyed for his troubles.
Yeah, this gets pulled into even more troubles as the entirety of Neon in this game, really. As soon as we got the Ricky shard, the game completely turns on its head. It was even. Polaris wins. That's just how it went. And now straight into the pit. Can Neon defend this? Do they have anything to respond to this?
I think the Drow's dead. You sure have a Rolling Thunder, so maybe you can try to steal it, but I've got a feeling that the physical damage is going to be too much. No.
This dead guy, you're talking about him.
Yeah, the dead dude, that man.
Okay, so nope, there is not gonna be a contest. He does have a buyback, so he can come over if he wants to, though. Neon, everyone who gets close, Mac is just ready to crush the menu. Comes in with the stun, the silence. Who is gonna get the stun removed? Ricky does get arrowed. Maybe they can finally get the kill. Guardian Angel not gonna be protecting you there from the splashes. The Aegis does get taken down, but Neon, is this enough? You got the Ricky, but you lost the Roche?
No, it's not. I mean, you got something. I guess you get to farm a little bit right now. Maybe finally buy that BKB on the DK. Come on, Enryu. You've got it in your quick buy now. Like, you've got an open slot. Just an Ogre Axe. Just put the Ogre Axe in. Stop my pain.
Yeah, this is kind of painful to watch, you know. It looked like we could have a cool mid-game on our hands, and then it just is Polaris all the way with Neon not really being able to do anything. Even that Ricky dying, there is a good chance that Arrow doesn't connect and Jing gets out of that one alive. And now finally he has a gem, so things are gonna become even scarier.
Yeah, like I believe in the end he only died to the hypothermia stacks. Yeah, Fortune Soul hiding in the trees, being so sneaky. Goodness.
Oh, where is he? We don't know. Oh, yeah, here he is. Does have 21 charges. Doesn't seem like something that is gonna help him live. Tiny is contemplating, do I even use spells for you? Okay, let's not embarrass you even further. But in the end, it is gonna be Fortune Soul dead, and Mac getting himself another one, 5-0-3 right now. Has a beautiful game on the Tiny, working towards that BKB. I guess now you just go for the classic items, for like the ones that are not gonna allow you to lose from one tower to another, and Polaris should be able to take it.
Yep, like you're looking at a Blink Dagger on Ken right now, so the playmaking capability of Neon has increased once again, but it feels like too little and too late. And this is a first pick Ricky. You've been describing a lot of like, oh, you hate this to me, when I've been like, oh well, it's like it's not that great. But no, this Ricky, it's a first pick support, completely locks down the game at 15 minutes. I hate it. I despise it, Harry.
I love it because it definitely shows you the weakness of a team if they cannot utilize the first 15 minutes to get themselves a lead. I think it can be played against, and you know, it's your own fault that you're like, oh, we are farming, everything is good and dandy. No, it is not. The timing is coming, and with the Ricky is just so clear and easy to connect. You know, it's not like a BKB timing that you still need to find a good fight. Ricky, just whatever you do, this is a timing that is going to be going your way. Right, unless you are severely losing the game, which can be happening. So, you know, it just to me it shows that Neon, they have a clear weakness in their team, and that is either not understanding when they should strike, or you know, just getting pulled into the everything is fine because we are not dying currently.
Yeah, I do completely agree with your assessment there, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the latter really. Like this lineup that they built, they saw that Ricky, and this is what they came up with to make use of that time that it gave them, I guess, which is the wrong response, as you said yourself.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's the lineup. It's just you, like minute 7 to minute 15. Polaris are helpless. Why aren't you diving them? Why aren't you in their face? Where's the Pango? 1 and 4. You know, Ken definitely hasn't been having. And I know him as a player, he does have a potential to make the aggressive plays, but it just seems like they didn't think it was like necessary to go super aggressive. But now we see that it definitely was.
Especially because their cooldowns are so much shorter, right? Sure, the first fight is always going to be hard because you're going to be going into Exorcism, you're going to be going into Guardian Angel, but those spells have considerable cooldowns. Like, it is known that you engage into them, get those spells out, pull back, farm a bit, and then come back when those spells are off CD, or on CD, excuse me. Like, that's not new.
But let's see now. Polaris, are they going to be trying to end the game with the Aegis? Likely not. 45 seconds on the Aegis, and Hated is being hunted. He's placing some wards, some sentries, but the Ricky just finds it. It's lucky for this Treant Protector that Polaris weren't right next to it when he placed them, because they probably would have chased for the death of the Treant. But in the end, he does live. All of the heroes of Neon are alive. Let's not grim it up just yet. Maybe they have a plan. Inside of the base, shard on the Drow, enemies can't come through. Late game we win. Is that something that can happen, or am I just being optimistic without no reason here, Kips?
No, I think late game, you get to do something with this Drow Ranger, and eventually, I guess maybe Polaris. Actually, I'm saying run out damage. That's really not true. It's really all up to the Drow. It's not like you're going to get enough scaling out of your DK compared to like a tiny death profit.
That is true. That is true. Smoke from Polaris. They think that they've allowed enough space for Neon to leave the base, and they're absolutely right. Mirana, though, is going to be there to break the smoke, to take the heat, and give another kill to the Tiny. But that just means that the rest of her lineup can just get themselves away, and Neon are going to be fine. Drow Ranger does get herself a little bit deeper into the jungle, so Fortune Soul is going to be able to continue farming.
Yep, that's a little bit of a prison break there. He's going to get a little bit more farm than he otherwise would, and this would punish Polaris for not checking in on the rest of the map enough. But you know what? Jing is stumbled upon a curious presence in his woods as he went back to take the rune.
Yep. We talked about the prison break, but the Fortune Soul, not Michael Schofield, unfortunately, and will be taken down. Akashi easily Burns him down. It's gonna be another kill. Jing, his job is just to run around the map finding people. It's really not all that hard, especially when they are so far behind and they don't see anything. I'm looking at the sword behind the tower for Neon, and how are they ever gonna get to it?
That was a ward that was placed back in a different time when they still had hope, when the creep waves were still not in their face and they still had tier 2 towers.
Yeah, a long time ago, this ward would have been considered great.
It's like looking at a Roman ruin in the desert. Like, why is there a town here? Well, it wasn't a desert before.
Yeah, in modern times, something's time passes quite quickly, I remember some shopping malls being open in my city. I remember being at the openings and stuff, and now they're just like ghost towns, and it has been like 10, 15 years. It's not really that high, so we don't have to go back to the Roman Empire, a couple of centuries ago. This is in the Dota world, it's slightly quicker than in ours. It's just 5-6 minutes that separates you from being the best ward in the world to being completely obsolete and useless.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess they sometimes get like a glimpse of information for it, but yeah, there's some new vision being placed that is going to be doing a lot more for them, even if only to see, their enemies coming before they die.
That is something. Though I would argue that I'd rather not know when I'm going to die, right? Can it be a secret so that I'm surprised, just get it over with? I don't want to be sitting in my room waiting for death. And let's see though, Neon, they are defending their base. They are not gonna embrace death just yet. They wanna fight. They wanna fight till the end. And Dragonite and the Marana are coming from the back. Tiny though, he is gonna be making sure that this Treant Protector dies without using any of the spells. The buyback does come through. Anu is in. The arrow connects onto the Lina, who does have a BKB, but will he be able to use it? Should be able right now. And there it is. BKB comes out from the Lina. They do bring down the Omni Knight, but they've lost 2 heroes in the process. Ken doesn't have the Rolling Thunder any longer, and he doesn't have his life any longer as well. Fortune Soul will get a couple of arrows into Bok, doing exactly 0 damage to the Death Prophet. Considering how farmed she is, it is impossible to do anything, and Polaris just continue to overwhelm the game. Ava toss back, another hero is dead there. Lina isn't even concerned about this one, will go for the regen and continue farming as her team is bringing down the base.
Yeah, and that was a dieback on the Pango too. Like, it sort of slipped between the cracks because he died so fast the first time, but yeah, he died really fast the second time as well.
He died after the Rolling Thunder, just to be fair. It's
yeah,
it's not that fast of a kill. Fortune Soul gets a couple of hits onto the Tiny, immediately gets slapped, gets the Laguna Blade. That's just threat. Bok taking some damage. Oh, finally, when he's standing his ground here in front of the enemies, he actually can die, and that is a big one. So the chase is on. Yes, no. Seems like the answer will be no.
No, you'd be going uphill into Sleeping Dart and Alina with full status. Like, it'd be suicidal. In fact, talking about suicidal.
Oh, yep. Fortune Soul, he's done with this one. He's like, yeah, let's get it over with, right? This is not looking good for us. The Raxus takes some time to fall because of the living armor, but ultimately the Lina just constantly getting the hits in will have more than enough damage to finish it off. And even with the Death Prophet being dead, they still turn it around, kill a carry, and finish off the Raxus.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where, sure, you're playing it out because you're hoping that they're going to mess up, but the full heart of Neon isn't in this anymore. And I would be surprised if it has been ever since that Sleeping Dart came out.
Yeah, if for us it's morning, but for Neon it's already late in the afternoon, so they should not be sleeping on the job.
Smoke spotted. Sentry spotted as well. Polaris are going to nip around the corner.
And catch someone. Yeah, they catch the perfect one. The one that is needed for a team fight. Enryu pumps the BKB, goes in. Let's run away because I can't do anything here. Enryu is running. He is flying. He is begging. He is dying. Hated. Will follow suit immediately. He's not as tanky as the Dragonite, but even the first one didn't seem that strong. And Tsukimoto, 2 more leaps. Leap away. Run away if you can. And Tsukimoto will be able to do it. Gets the arrow off and into the Riki. So Riki has been picking these ones off this time around. The Omni Knight will be there to make sure that doesn't last long.
Yep, and I think there you can see why the DK knows that his job description is to get on top of the Omni Knight, see if they can bring him down. But this is why we were talking about burst damage in the draft. They don't actually have any way to take the Omni Knight out before the machine gun fire of the Lina starts and you start melting. And CML is as healthy as can be. It's like a DK didn't jump him at all.
It's always weird to me, like, you're a coach. Let's say your team is playing like this in a official match. Do you want them to GG out? Like, is there anything that you can really learn from this game staying in it?
It's a personal opinion, right? But I'd be calling for the GG outs already. Like, they're wasting their time, they're wasting their energy. Like, unless they've already flipped the switch and said, like, we are discussing how we would do this better, etc., in like in a constructive manner, instead of just being sulky that they're still caught in this game, right?
Yeah,
I'd call it.
Yeah, okay. But I'd call it as well, though I still don't know what kind of, of an approach the Southeast Asia teams have or how they communicate with each other. Because in Europe, whenever I played with people, and I coached some teams as well, people would get very annoyed when they were crushed like this. You could hear like...
yeah, all the mouth sounds...
Yeah, all the mouth sounds that they really do get on my nerves. I say just call GG, get this over with, let's go for another game, because
exactly.
People don't like losing. But every single time in Southeast Asia, I can see these guys, they just embrace the loss. They continue fighting, they continue using spells. I don't see much use of it, but maybe you're still practicing communication. I don't know, just wanted to hear your opinion, but it seems like you have the same experience as I did.
Yeah, I mean, if they had an opportunity to make plays here, if they still have something, if they still have some leverage on this game, then maybe it would be different, but they don't. It's just waiting for Polaris to make a mistake, and you're getting tired, you're getting annoyed, people are making the mouth sounds. And I have gotten into fights with players who could not stop themselves from... It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. Like, just mute yourself. If you can't stop yourself from doing it, just mute yourself, because you are not one person in this game. You are 5, and you're taking off 4/5 of what's supposed to be this unit. Like, you don't want to be there anymore? Fine. But they want you to be here, clearly. So, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. I remember one of my favorite sentences was I was playing with a guy here from Serbia, a good friend of mine, I would always tell him, stop blowing, right? In the, like, I guess he does this. And I couldn't believe it. Like, every single game that things go wrong, even when the game is okay, but something goes wrong and we can still continue. It's just, after the fight. Like, I would pause. Let's say it. Like, say you're an idiot or you're an idiot or whatever. Just stop doing that. Yeah, it's gotta be quite annoying. We are gonna be coming back into the game, Kips, though, so we can't stop with our ranting.
Can we though?
Yeah, we can, because there is a lot happening right now in the game. Tsukimoto, he gets an arrow off. Ricky up to the high ground, immediately the ward gets dewarded. Run Treant, he has a TP. Dart, ooh, that was so close.
That's one of those moments where you're just expecting to see the dart flying off to the fountain, really. Of course, it gets disjointed there, but it felt that close. Well, 1 Rax left to defend. DK is down because they came in through the other door.
Yeah, they just have way too much damage. It's not fair. Daedalus and the Lina, Silver Edge on the Tiny. When your only defensive item is the BKB, that's about it. He's getting towards the Halberd, but I don't think he's ever gonna get it. Ken goes in. Let's go. If he can crush them with all of the arrows flying in, but those arrows, they might not be as sharp as you want them, because Polaris, they don't feel it. Avatar's combo. The Treant Protector is dead. Mac is protected with the Heavenly Grace and the BKB as well, and the Drow Ranger sleeping on the job. What's with the Laguna? What happened with the Laguna?
A creep.
Okay. So we wanted to refresh the Fiery Soul stacks. Yeah, they called GG. They're like, okay, you guys, now they are just playing with us. They're playing with their food. Let's call it. The game is over. And it probably was a couple of minutes ago. 33 minutes, 30 seconds. But in pretty much 15 or 16 minutes into the game, Polaris were already so far ahead and in control that... Neon, well, it was rough.
It was, yeah. At the very least, though, if you look at this game, it's pretty easy to determine for yourself where the problem is, where you like what you have to change in order to actually get to play this game. And I do feel that Neon should not be too proud to just say, like, all right, we need to just get to play the next one. We have to get to play next one. I would not even be thinking about trying to win the next one, but just like anything but this. I want to actually get to measure myself against Polaris. And this draft, as much as like a better team could have maybe made it work, clearly you were not that team. And you only have about 10 minutes break to fix it right now. So draft to draft, it's going to get to play.
Okay. We'll see if that's something that they're gonna be gunning for. I personally would like to see it, but because as you mentioned, they didn't really get to play Dota too much in this game number 1. Though before we hop into game number 2, we are gonna have to go for a short break. It's usually about 10 minutes, guys. So as soon as the players are ready, we are gonna be starting the next game here at the BTS Pro Series Season 14. See you in a couple.